All right. Well, let's see what we got. I think I got it. Yeah. All right. Well, let's feed these Steam Deck fans again. Another wine update. Two of them. I just did one today, and now there's two more. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Me again. Another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? Yeah. Wine. Another update, man. Another update. Listen to this. Let's see, which one should I do first here? Okay, let me do the 10.3 first. It says here, Wine Staging 10.3, Wine Staging 10.3 adds patch for a 15-year-old bug. And it says, building off yesterday's release 10.3 is now staging 10.3 for a more experimental version of Wine that is presently shipping 347 experimental / testing patches atop of the upstream state. Wine Staging 10.3 falls in with fewer than 350 patches atop upstream, thanks to a number of patches around the Oleat 32 and Setupati code having been upstream over the past 2 weeks. The patch to set server real-time priority was only dropped from Wine Staging. New though to Wine Staging is 10.3 is updating the latest VKD3D Git code and D3DX9 36-DDS code. There is also a new patch in Wine Staging 10.3, and that is to improve the white space value handling MS-XL ML. That new patch aims to address this bug report from March of 2010. That bugs report that just marked with 15th anniversary of being open is around the game demo Rise of the Legends crashing within the Wine MSX ML3 code. That bugs has been active. The bug has seen activity on and off over the years. While surprisingly, this new patch in Wine Staging 10.3 will hopefully take care of the problem. And what else we got here? And then it says Rise of Nations in League of Legends is a game out of Microsoft Game Studio 2006. And then it says those wanting to try out this experimental version of Wine can find the Wine Staging 10.3 asset via wine.org. Remember, I'm not even done yet. I got one more wine report to talk about here. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do they got here? Clipboard support in Wayland driver, initial Vulkan video decode support in Wine D3D, bundled compiler RT library for ARM, blends, head fixes for Wine lib C++ support, more progress on the Bluetooth driver, various bug fixes, and then that's for 10.3. But 10.2 now had bundle VKD3D upgrade to version 1.15 support for settings, thread priorities. New WoW 64 mode can be enabled dynamically. More progress on Bluetooth driver and various bug fixes. Yeah, Wine for you. Now, here's the other Wine version. Yeah, we're not done here. Says here, Wine release framework Mono 6.14 is taking over the Mono project. And it says here, last year Microsoft donated the Mono project to Wine for its stewardship under the Wine HQ umbrella. Today marks the framework's Mono 6.14 release as the first major Mono release in 5 years and the first under the Wine HQ organization. Framework Mono.16 is out today as the newest for Mono project, now being developed and maintained by Wine developer and broader open source community. Today release announcement notes. This is the first release for Framework Mono from its new home at Wine HQ. It includes work from the past 5 years that was never included in a stable release because no stable branch had been created in time. Highlights are native support for ARM64 on Mac OS and many improvement on Windows forms for X11. And then it says, in addition to the native Mac OS ARM64 support and system window forms improvement for X11, some of the other Mono 6.14 improvement carries out over the past decade include improve support for generated COM interface. Many warning fixes addressing the common cases where process would hang on exit and more. And then it says, as for a Framework Mono name rather than just Mono, the release announcement explained. It says here, Framework Mono is the project previously hosted by github.com mono/mono, which was then simply called Mono. I have made the change to distinguish it from Mono VM and Wine Mono, which are different projects. Framework Mono is cross-platform runtime compatibility with NetFrames, and it says download more detail on Framework Mono 6.14 Wine HQ. Yeah, work. Anyway, what did they do here? Let's see. Well, they got the entire release notes, so I will leave that link in the description box. But let's see, they fix, what did they do? Native support for ARM, native support for Mac OS on ARM CIS compilation. ARM Mac OS is now assumed to be compiling for Mac OS, not cross-compiling for iOS. System window forms fix various leaks for it on X11. Redesign clipboard and drag and drop implementation on X11. Stability improvement on X11. Improve support for generated COM interface. Fix some common case where process would hang on exit. Add Georgian translation. Many warning fixes. The Linux AMD 64 build no longer warns when compiling the C portion of the code base, and this is enforced for new changes via CI, and then many bug fixes. So yeah, that's wine for you. Anyway, so that's all the updates. So now let's see what they got on the comment section. On both these articles, let's see what they got on the comments. We got 3 here on the first one. What's this? Let's see, 10.3. Someone's here. I have used that game, but it rotted my shelf because nobody ever wanted to play it with me. It was good though. And then who is this? It says, I wonder if Rise of Nation first strategy game that I liked. And then Danny said, works with wine, as I never tried, so I forgot about it until now. And then who is this? Zex said this, Rise of Nation is one of the awesome RTS made, and yes, it does work with wine or Proton as of some years ago, but it's been some time since I played it. But the last time I tried it in Linux, it was pretty straightforward to get going. Alright, yeah, they're working. Anyway, now on 6.14 now we got about 10 comments. Let's see what they got. Yeah, gotta keep you guys in the loop. Says here, okay, who's this? Okay, Phoronix. George said this. Think of how much damage my MS has done with net/C and managing to get it to infect the FOSS ecosystem through Mono and Net Core, etc., etc. And then Alex said this. I would have called it Mono Frames. And then Jumbo said this. I wouldn't blame Microsoft so much in this case of infecting FOSS. FOSS developers using Mono and C chose to do so for whatever reasons they deemed necessary to or desire for their projects. Perhaps it was the lesser of two evils. Do I go with Larry Ellison, Java or do I go with Bill Gates' Java copy? I am glad that Wine has Mono now. As long as net for Windows programs are made, you'll need Wine or crossover with good support for those programs through continual developed supported Mono. And then V said this: that moment when porting half of the Windows in Wine is easier than port of called net. I have less old net application working under Mono plus Linux or Mono plus Wine than modern games under Wine. And then who is this? Par said this: I do like Java and C and net, and I really like Mono. I really like that Mono still lives. People that develop with net on Linux know that MS love for Linux doesn't extend to anything GUI related other than HTML-based frameworks. MS MAU that is even supports on Android/Linux has now support GNU Linux. This is my reason for seriously doubting that MS really love Linux. Another compounding fact to this is that Mono developed that is further developed into Virtual Studio, Visual Studios for Macs, is no longer working or supported on Linux. And then who is this? Theoserb said this. I see. He said, I see net a little bit ambivalent. On one side, I like net. For example, in the net written PowerShell is nice. I have replaced on my Linux the bash with the PowerShell as default. It is not only possible to navigate in directories searching in files, it also is possible to calculate. And then you have the code there, and it says it's easy to write little scripts in PowerShell. And then he says, I like that the PowerShell have an simulated case insensitivity. It got two quotes, dir, and then s, scours all files and directories beginning with an quote small s or quote big capital S. If I write in the home directory cd space dow, and then that's in quotes, he says, and press the tab button, it's complete to cd it's complete to quotes and then cd space, and then you got slash and then download. It says, I like the net have a platform independent code like Java. I like that for net exists in C, visualbasics.net, and then the PowerShell and a lot of other language. It is nice that some net and then the greater sign equals 8 programs like core account running with Wine perfect on Linux. Look, I think the only code I know how to write, if I'm not mistaken, is hello world. And that's about it. That's the only code I know how to write. Anyway, he says here, it is nice that newer net versions allow to compile to one big executable file instead of having a lot of files. But on the other side, I see some disadvantage. Net binaries are net codes in an Windows PE covering, which is itself in an MS-DOS MZ covering. So it is possible that the PE covering have a computer virus which don't work on Linux. But if you give the file to a Windows user, its PC is after that infected. With the new net version, and then in bracket it has after .NET Core, Microsoft integrate the directory paths where you compile the file in the generated in the generated binary. Then he says and with reference to Mono, with Net Core and newer, Mono has only goal to replace the Net Frame 4X, which is by Microsoft side. itself no longer in development. You learn a lot here. And then who was this? RM said this clearly. Open source is a naming thing proper as always. And then Dragon said this. He's responding to V. He says it's not easier. Developers simply care more about Wine than about Mono, despite the fact that Net was designed as cross-platform, similar to Java. Net Frames was Windows only and depended on Windows API. Obviously, Windows API is not available under Linux, excluding Wine, so Mono couldn't simply run every Net application on Linux. Example for this is WinForms. Net Frameworks implementation is based on Win32, and Mono initially tried to implement it on Wine, but later they decide to just draw widgets by themselves using system drawings, Net API. The result is something that is compatible to some extent with Net WinForms, as long as application is not using any Win32 stuff. They didn't even bother implementing WPF, as it would not only has the same issue, but it would be even more complicated. There is good reason why Microsoft released Net Core as a separate frame instead of open Net frameworks and porting it to Mac and Linux. Anyway, okay, who else? One more comment here, and then Weasel said this. He responded to Jumbotron. To Jumbo, he said, "Dude, use copy instead of fork. That's enough to know your tech level." And then he responded to Jumbo again. He said, "But this has nothing to do with the Mono in Wine. This is about cross-platform Mono only that use on anything but Wine." And see if I can get this out the way here. They always hit me with this little commercial stuff. Okay, it says, but Wine uses Wine Mono. Yeah. You learn a lot, man. And then, who is this? And then one more here. Let's see, who is this? Sock said this. He's responding to Weasel. No, Microsoft tried to fork Java to EE it. It was called Visual J++. I remember that. Visual J++ and Visual C++. Anyway, and got sued by Sun, and it says C's carry no legal recognizable lineage to Java, so it's not a fork any more than Java is a fork of C or C++. Instead, it's a copy in the same way that Genome 1X is a with Blackjack and Hooker's copy of KDE 1X. Anyway, look, the only thing I know about coding is the only code I know how to type, I think, is Hello World. that programming stuff, man. Yeah, you got to learn it when you're really young, man, because you got youth and time on your side. That's the best time to learn it. But anyway, other than that, man, Wine is getting updated, man. Wine got another update, 2 of them. And one from the 10.3 side and one from the 6.14. So, yeah, updates. They just rolling in. So, yeah, you Linux users and Mac users on your desktops and your laptop, yeah, and even on the little portable PCs, yeah, Wine got you covered, man. So yeah, yeah, another nice update from the Linux community, man. So that should help you for now and go on from there. But seriously though, I remember I know there was C, then there was C++. Now of course there's C#, there's Visual C++, and I remember seeing Visual J++. Matter of fact, when I was at CompUSA at the time, they had that software, Visual J++. I remember seeing it. So yeah, but good, programming is good stuff to learn. If you got time and youth on your side, man. That's the best time to learn this stuff. Programming, when you're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You know, that's like 15 years to learn programming, man. When you got youth and time on your side, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the best time to learn it, man. But once you got it down pat, you got it down pat, man. So yeah, you know. But it's good to learn though, because all you're doing is staring at like a blank screen, and you're like, you're learning how to type codes and learning codes, you know. Yeah. I think was it int main void. What is it? Include include stdio. Yeah, but I know you put the quotes in. Yeah. But anyway, but to learn this stuff, man, yeah, about programming, you got to start when you're real young, man. When you got time and youth on your side, you got to have a deep love for it, eager to learn it. You know, can't get enough of it. So yeah, that's when you learn it, man. But it'll pay off though when you get older. Yeah, because companies will be looking for you. Oh yeah, that's the best time to learn it, man. When you got time and youth on your side. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy it. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, Star Wars and Star Trek. Thank poor Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.